The relevant ICAO documents pertaining to search and rescue are Article 25 of the Chicago Convention, which obliges all contracting states to provide assistance to aircraft in distress, Annex 12 to the Convention, which covers search and rescue procedures, and the ICAO Search and Rescue Manual, Doc 7333. You will remember that the alerting service, described in the Air Traffic Services element of this disc, is only one element of the search and rescue organisation, and serves to alert other agencies of the need to prepare and provide the necessary assistance. The ability of a state to provide a comprehensive search and rescue service depends on many factors, not least of which is funding. Many nations face greatly differing practical issues. For instance, Tibet and Bermuda face very different challenges when planning their own search and rescue services. In general, one having to provide a mountain rescue service and the other a maritime rescue service. Contracting states are required to delineate the areas in which they will provide a search and rescue service. Ideally, these boundaries would coincide with the flight information region boundary of the state and should not overlap. Where contracting states find themselves unable to provide search and rescue support for any reason, other states may provide it for them. In the case of Cyprus, the United Kingdom Royal Air Force provides this service. Those areas of the globe covered by the high seas or land masses of undetermined sovereignty shall have a search and rescue service established to cover them, as agreed by the local regional air navigation agreements. Having accepted responsibility to provide a search and rescue service for such an area, the contracting state shall thereafter arrange for that service to be provided and maintained in full. The ICAO Convention dedicates an entire annex to search and rescue, Annex 12, and as such, you will be required to know the definitions listed here that pertain to SAR operations. You will already recognize some of them. The uncertainty phase is a situation wherein uncertainty exists as to the safety of an aircraft and its occupants. The alert phase is a situation wherein apprehension exists as to the safety of an aircraft and its occupants. The distress phase is a situation where there is a reasonable certainty that an aircraft and its occupants are threatened by grave and imminent danger or require immediate assistance. The emergency phase is a generic term meaning, as the case may be, the uncertainty phase, the alert phase, or the distress phase. An operator is a person, organization, or enterprise engaged in or offering to engage in an aircraft operation. The pilot in command is the pilot responsible for the operation and safety of the aircraft during flight. A radio direction finding station is intended to determine only the direction of another transmitting station. The Rescue Coordination Center, RCC, is responsible for promoting efficient organization of search and rescue services and for coordinating the conduct of search and rescue operations within a search and rescue region. A rescue unit is a group of trained and equipped personnel who will expeditiously undertake rescue operations. The state of registry is the state on whose register an aircraft is entered. To remind you, here are all the definitions again. In addition to the definitions, you will also be required to be familiar with the following abbreviations, all of which relate to SAR operations. SRG, short range, relating to aircraft with a search radius of 150 nautical miles or more and having an endurance of half an hour remaining. MRG, medium range, relating to aircraft with a search radius of 400 nautical miles or more and having an endurance of 2.5 hours remaining. LR, long range, relating to aircraft with a search radius of 750 nautical miles or more and having an endurance of 2.5 hours remaining. VLR, very long range, relating to aircraft with a search radius of 1,000 nautical miles or more and having an endurance of 2.5 hours remaining. ELR, extra long range, relating to aircraft with a search radius of 1,500 nautical miles or more and having an endurance of 2.5 hours remaining. HELM, a medium helicopter, a helicopter with, in normal circumstances, a radius of action of 100 to 200 nautical miles and a capacity to evacuate 6 to 15 people. HELH, a heavy helicopter, a helicopter with, in normal circumstances, a radius of action of more than 200 nautical miles and a capacity to evacuate more than 15 people. RB, a rescue boat, a short-range coastal or river craft with a speed approaching 14 knots or better. RV, a rescue vessel, a vessel of seagoing qualities, long range and reasonable speed. PRU, a parachute rescue unit. MRU, a mountain rescue unit. The AMVER, the Automated Mutual Assistance Vessel Rescue System. And GREENPOS, the Greenland Ship Position Reporting System. You will remember, all contracting states shall arrange for the establishment and provision of search and rescue services within their territories, which will be provided on a 24-hour basis. Regardless of nationality, contracting states will undertake to provide assistance to aircraft in distress and survivors of aircraft accidents. Remember, contracting states shall delineate the search and rescue regions within which they will provide an SAR service. Such regions shall not overlap and, as far as possible, conform to the FIR boundaries of the state. Contracting states shall establish rescue coordination centres in each search and rescue region that they are responsible for. These may be supplemented with sub-centre rescue coordination centres, should the efficiency of the SAR service be improved by this. In remote regions where the telecommunication infrastructure is not extensive and the visual identification of aircraft in distress is difficult, contracting states are required to establish units of public or private services to act as alerting posts. Contracting states will coordinate their search and rescue organisations with those of neighbouring states so that practicable common SAR procedures can be established to facilitate effective response to an incident. States should, upon request, allow the search and rescue units of a neighbouring state to cross national borders to search for or rescue people involved in an airplane crash. States should immediately acknowledge any such request and indicate any conditions it may wish to impose. Contracting states should authorise its rescue coordination centres to provide, when requested, every assistance to other rescue coordination centres. This may take the form of aircraft, vessels, personnel or equipment. Periodic liaison and cooperative training between contracting states' SAR services is also required to further improve efficiency. Contracting states shall ensure that all aircraft, vessels, services and facilities that are not immediately part of the SAR service are able to respond and support the SAR effort and offer assistance as necessary. States shall designate a search and rescue point of contact for the receipt of COSPAS SARSAT search and rescue satellite tracking distress data.